Chemistry.
All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh gosh, I forgot to bring you water. And I forgot to get you.
No,
What a day. Sorry guys. So
I have-
funny, he's
I have
like
a
all
speed
around
limit.
everything. That's why I
Wait,
gotta
guys,
get this
yeah.
going. He's like all around like PA, director of photography, like this, like that. Oh, the clap? No, I didn't do the clap.
I just did it. It's cool.
Okay, cool. See if I can keep the signal.
Is it time code that or do something?
Oh, live. I'm gonna do a jingle and we're just gonna go because what's your pick? It's about to go hot, folks.
Okay. One more place.
How's it you hear?
I hear it on the right side.
You good?
Yeah, just on the right side, but it's
Yeah, but
fine.
is it the volume good?
Yeah, volume's good.
You got the laugh back off and try to stay this close.
Two fingers.
Yeah, two fingers, two, yeah. And you gotta laugh back off. You can come this way, so because unfortunately, the way this is made, this is how I get to talk to you.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey Robert, if you can hear me, what's up, buddy? Trying to get it so we can see everybody, but it's just not working the way I want. Let's do it that way. Oh, that way they can see all three of us. Yeah, oh, I'm gonna leave it alone. We do a jingle and we can just go right in. Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's version of Just Keep It Moving Powerfully. And I have a wonderful guest with me, the director of photography himself, Mr. Sterling Solano.
How's it going?
You know I'm crunchy. It's been alright. Look folks, I'm going to be laughing at myself all day long, and I'm probably going to forget Sterling's name, because I'm tired.
We all are. It's been a crazy week.
You know, and I got Bahan, you know, we gotta give props to Bahan. He's like my other director photographer, my co-producer, my editor. This young man just holds it down. And of course I forgot water again from a guest, so he went out, got some for us like he always does. And one thing about Sterling, you just look at him, he's always smiling and he always makes you calm with that voice. I'm like, what's going on? Because everything's been kind of, you know, it's been a day. So we already have him in here keeping it moving powerfully for all of us. And Sterling and I met 2 months ago, August. Was it August?
Yeah, in Los Feliz.
Was it August?
I
Tracy's
believe
party.
So. Yep.
It might have been July, maybe around July, because she
That's
had her
crazy.
other party. Yeah, we met at my buddy Tracy Toms, who's been a guest on the show. And Sterling just moved here, and we were talking about life and where he's come to be where he is now as a director of photography. This young man has had a road. And how his whole mode of consciousness has changed.
Yeah.
And the whole background part of that to where he is now, which we always have these great conversations with him about it and talking about about it. And I was like, you need to come do the show, because that's what it's all about. And as Vahan knows, I love helping young people, because it's about the young people.
Absolutely.
You all are the ones who are going to take care of us old ones. You already are.
Yeah.
Because we already have kind of done a mess of some things. So, so welcome. I mean,
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
I know your journey goes all the way back to, it says when you were very, very young. It ties into film and it ties into music. And all these things just formulated all these different ideas in your head. And that's just where you took it. And that's why you are where you are now. So, tell the audience about it. Come on, Sterling. Give it.
Yeah, so my name is Hugo Sterling Solano. So my nickname is Sterling. Everybody knows me as Sterling. It's kind of a nickname that I had as a child growing up. And from a young age, and so I was like, hey, everybody want my name to be Sterling. My parents were like, no, your name's Hugo. And when I decided to move out here to Los Angeles, I said, why not take that opportunity to, basically rebrand myself. And so hence now everybody out here knows me as Sterling. So growing up, the way the whole thing is to film, music, and all these things came into what my life is now, it's just my thought process my entire life. Ever since I was a kid, I've been able to have these, vivid ideas and visions of things that I would create in my mind, and I would say, I would run to people and I would want to express them to them, my ideas. And it was always difficult because no matter, how much I tried verbally to express these ideas, they just couldn't get that full image as to what I was creating in my head. And so, that was that, right? And at a young age. And as I continued growing up, I fell into music. I started doing percussion when I was getting into middle school. From there, went into high school, did drumline, did the whole thing. I fulfilled that dream. The whole Friday Night Lights, doing all that good stuff.
Drumline, folks, y'all can't see me. One of the cameras up here, but I'm drumlining.
And so, even during the course of me, drumming and stuff, I picked up piano as well. And, for me, piano, real quick to touch on that, the reason why I was so passionate about it, I never took lessons. I was all self-taught. It was also another way of expressing my mood, because with drums, if I'm sad, you cannot hear that through drums.
No.
If I'm angry, I can maybe crash the cymbal extremely hard, and he might be like, hey, he's got some underlying anger going on. But with the piano, if I'm joyful, you can hear it in the music. If I'm sad, you can hear it in the music. And so that was powerful to me, to be able to express, how I'm feeling without words. It was just through the music, and that's what piano did for me. But then this is where it starts to get really interesting. Once I graduated high school, my aunt and my mother came to me, and they came with the idea, hey, would you like to essentially have a graduation party with all your friends, or would you like the idea of going to Cancun, as a graduation gift? And as funny as it is, in my head I thought to myself, why would I have my mom and my aunt spend money to host a party with people that I never really liked? I said, yeah, it makes a lot more sense for me to go to another country, have a great time, and thank God that I kind of decided to do that, because it was in that moment that, my brother-in-law, Derek at the time, he gave me a GoPro, and all I had was an iPhone 4. And mind you, that iPhone 4 wasn't actually my phone. I was using it as just for music. And so, and it was those two that I kind of used to my advantage. And my idea before going to Cancun, of course, I looked up pictures. I wanted to know where I was going, what I was doing, and I was already kind of creating these ideas. And I went on these excursions. I did this whole diving into a underwater cave, like self-propelling, and all that good stuff. And so I kind of recorded and documented the whole thing, and I was like, wow, that was the light bulb that went off for me to understand it's through cameras that I can bring all of my thoughts into reality and share them with the world.
Oh, okay.
And so when all that kind of happened, I was just making videos for fun. I was bringing my ideas to life, and it started to catch kind of the attention of brands or other people. And then I started doing videos for just companies, and they really liked it. And then a company gave me a drone at one point,
Nice.
I mean, just like that, like
Got an
handing,
extra? Got an
yeah,
extra?
it was a Phantom 3. I mean, DJI, yeah. So I'm like, oh my gosh, and I mean, we'll dive into it in a little bit, but I essentially started with nothing. I didn't have the financial means to go out and get, you know, a DSLR or a 70D, whatever. You know, I didn't even have a laptop. So, you know, there's a lot of people that played key parts into to get me to where I am right now. But to stick to the question, that's kind of like, you know, who I am and how it all started. It was really with me being young, having these ideas, the light bulb going off right when I graduated high school that I can use, you know, cameras to bring my thoughts into reality.
Nice.
And then, we are where we are now in Los Angeles.
And you know, here we just have conversations. This is not like, you know, a Larry King or anything like that. You don't have to just stick with the question. You can go wherever you want to go.
Thank God, because everybody that knows me knows I go off topic all the time, and sometimes people are just, they're so into it, they're like, wait, what did I ask you? I'm sorry, but like, I was listening, I was memorizing, I'm like, thank God, because I have a tendency of doing that, and
I'll bring you back. I'll give you a look.
Please do.
I'll give you a look.
Give me a Texas roll.
Okay,
Just
give me
sling
light.
me in.
But you know, you said some really interesting stuff, because was there a reason when you were young, and I'm going to bring this around to something I don't know if we talked about when we met, we might have. Was there a reason when you were young that you felt like the only way you could communicate, or the best form of communication for you, was through art and music, or as opposed to just verbally saying something to people?
I think at the time, that's all I knew was just, you know, I would have these ideas and I would want to run to my friends and be like, hey, imagine if we went out and did this, and you know, they would just look at me like, okay, yeah, that's, and it was so frustrating because I'm thinking to myself like, why aren't you as excited as me? Like, I can paint these ideas so vividly in my head, but like, why aren't you as excited? And that's why, it's just like with anything else. I remember you and I had this conversation. It's not enough for somebody to just listen to your words. If you can stimulate the emotion behind those words, that's what music and film does. That's where it gets more powerful. And so that was kind of like the turning point where I was like, oh, you know, come 18 years old, picking up a GoPro and an iPhone 4, I was like, wow,
that's awesome. That means you were where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know,
and you know what? You know what's really funny? When I was in high school, we had this thing called KMAC, and KMAC in our school were the individual or the kids that went out and, you know, shot the football games, would do the school news, and I wanted to be in that class, but for whatever reason, they didn't allow me. They were like, no, it's a block class, we don't think we can fit you in, or it's already full, and you know what? Hey, everything happens for a reason.
It seems like you weren't supposed to do that so you could get to the other parts.
You
know, that's what it seems like. No, the reason I brought that up, because I don't know if we talked about that when we may have talked about music and a lot of things. We were talking about a lot of things. But growing up, for me, I grew up very obese and bullied a lot and had a whole lot of things. So my way of communicating was through singing and dancing.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't to always verbally say anything. So to hear you say all that is really interesting, because when I think, like when I was talking to my guest last week, Michael Taylor Gray, a lot of people I was talking to, when I think in my head like you could be talking, and my response comes up as a song lyric from a song that I know. That's what goes on in my head that comes out, and that's just how I've always been. And it was just interesting how you said all of a sudden you saw these images, you had your GoPro, you went on, you'd be like, oh wait, this is how I communicate to the world, and that's what comes out in your photography. So it's really interesting.
I mean, because it was really powerful, and even this is where it gets actually really interesting. So before that light bulb went off, right? This is the summer of my senior year of high school, and I went to Texas State University, and I took a course there. It was a master's degree level course. I was studying with Dr. Lopez, and the whole idea of the course was to try to figure out, you know, what your life purpose is, or what your journey is looking like, how you can go ahead and manifest. And the book for that course was The Success Principle by Jack Canfield. And in that class, that was also the starting, I guess, a journey for me, where it started when I dived into personal development and growth and learning about, what RAWs are, the reticular activating system in your brain. And
What is that?
so I'm really glad you asked because I love talking about this stuff. So your reticular activating system is basically these things in your brain. And the concept behind it is when you get so consumed into an idea or thought, what your brain essentially starts to do is it acknowledges what your desires are, and eventually it formulates these ideas and thoughts to help manifest what those ideas were. And in return, it also allows, it makes you do the things that you need to do necessary to attract the right people that you'll need to go ahead and get your desired outcome.
Wow.
Yeah.
So break that down for dummies like me.
Yeah, so like...
I think I kind of get it.
Yeah, so let's just say, okay, for me, I was so hung up on wanting to get a MacBook Pro so I can edit my videos.
Okay.
And for the longest time, I said, I know I don't have the money, I'm really trying, I'm young, I don't have the financial means to do it, but I was so consumed into the idea or thought and already visualizing me, working on a MacBook Pro and doing all those things. And then it came to the point to where, my uncle had, he came to me and he said, hey, dude, you really want that laptop? And I said, yeah. I said, I'm trying to do these videos things, I enjoy it, et cetera, et cetera. And he said, you know what? Let's go to Best Buy and check them out. I mean, he was being very nonchalant about it, but I knew that was like his way of saying yeah, we'll just go check them out, but he was gonna help me out.
Nice.
And sure enough, through his credit, he was able to pull out a MacBook Pro for me, which I still have today.
Nice.
And I made the commitment to make those payments, every single month, $100 for a whole year to be able to pay off that laptop.
That's excellent.
And so the same thing rolled in with my camera. When I didn't have a DSLR, my sister came, I actually went to her and I said hey, I know you have excellent credit, out of everyone in the family, if you can help me out, that'd be great. And sure enough, she did. And so that's what I meant earlier when I said there were a lot of key people in my life that played a really big role into helping me get to where I am today. And one person that I always really talk about is a guy by the name of Gustavo Sustaita. So Gustavo is a great friend of mine. He's a musician artist himself, signed with a record label in Mexico.
Big up, Gustavo.
Yeah. And I met him when I was working at a Boys and Girls Club back down in Texas, and ever since then we became extremely close friends. And one day I saw him editing some stuff on his desktop that he had brought to work, and I said, hey, you have editing software? And he's like, yeah, this is actually what I do. This was before he was signed. And I said, oh wow, this is what I do, and blah blah blah. And he's like, yeah, well, why don't you come on over? And after some time, he was like, yeah, come on over he has a studio in his home. And so he would let me, before I had a camera, before I had the laptop, he was the guy who would let me come to his studio and work right there on the main computer and edit my videos.
Yeah, see, that's the way it goes. It's like you put it out there, you put the energy out, and it manifests, it comes back.
Exactly.
So basically, that's what the layman's term, I think, for that is what you put out, you receive.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you put out the energy that you needed, that you wanted to do it, it was part of your path, and it came to you. It reminds me of, I had a guest before on the show a while back, he's a producer, Richie Herrera, and it was the same thing when he was in Colombia. His grandfather, he got his first record player, and his uncle gave him his keyboard, the whole deal, and that's where he started doing his beats, and now he's a producer. It's the same thing. You kind of put it out there, and it comes back.
Yeah.
Speaking of put it out there, folks, we are an FCC station, so we got to take care of a little legal business. But we'll be back, and stay with us because we're having a fantastic conversation with Hugo Sterling Solano. The first time I've ever called you. I had to get it in there. But I'm G-Tapping, you're listening to Just Keep It Moving Powerfully.
Radio Campus News. Students use live at Duke Construction.
Let's run, and I have a song coming up after this, and then we'll come back. How's it going?
Good, I'm loving it. I'm like surprisingly really relaxed. And it's funny because you're like, I'm gonna bring you back. I'm like, good, because I know I go off on tangents and like,
It's all good.
because I feel like my thought process is when I hear something, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is such a crucial piece of information that has nothing to do with the topic, but while I remember it right now, I should say it.
And we constantly roll, so you get all.
Oh, yeah.
We're constantly going.
Coyotes are here to
Exactly. See, I told you, bring me out of it.
Coyotes from Canada.
I'll be honest, as soon as we started, I mean, I felt so fatigued before filming everything, and then
Yeah.
now we're live.
Yeah. We're live and we're having.
And I feel really good. How do you feel?
He's always good. He's always. Yeah, we're all kind of like.
No way. Dude,
What ice cream, yo? Hold up.
you slaying that ice cream.
I'm just saying. That's some butter pecan for a brother. Come
Oh
on.
my gosh. Yes, there's
I'll hook you up.
the truffle caramel one is so good. Well, I don't know if it has it, but I go at Ralph's. They have this like the truffle.
I could go for that.
It's so good. Truffle caramel.
Yeah, that sounds like American. I mean,
Butter pecan?
I grew up with that with my mother. We used to eat that all the time when I was growing up. Yeah, butter pecan. We call it pecan sometimes where I'm from. It depends on pecan, depending on where you're from. Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
21?
22 next year.
This birthday's next week.
No, this week.
Happy early birthday, man.
Thank you.
Mine was
Same
last
here.
week. Mine was last week and yours?
To obtain
Nice. When is your birthday? Hugo. When is your birthday, Hugo?
My birthday is May 12th.
You're Cancer.
No,
You're a
Taurus.
Taurus.
Ooh, I
We're,
was like,
we're like the best combos. Taurus.
you know
Virgo.
who's not the best combos? Taurus and Sagittarius. Oh my
That
god.
sounds like a story right there.
It's a huge story. If you want to dive into that, it's actually my past relationship before I moved here.
It's not, you can share anything you want. We
It
just
is so
everything's
fun.
rated G. That's why I had to cut some of the music,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh, no, no.
whatever you want to talk about that goes with your story. It's all good.
If the question comes up, I'll answer.
And John Cage. We'll take the question out onto the field, see what our students are thinking. We're located in the Union Plaza, and it's my pleasure to introduce. How you doing, man?
Yes,
What's
I
your
do.
name? My name is Ryan. I do think rules
It's a the_.
I can
Sterling Solano.
As much as I can, I try to follow what the Bible says, and it's just like, follow the directions and, staying organized. Basically, no rules you can't be organized. Do you break the rules, and which ones do you break? I break some rules, some cops in Washington,
Yeah, we break
20
rules
miles
up
speed
in
limit,
The rules are plenty.
My name is Persephone. I am a music and business arrangements major, and I believe that rules all depend on the situation. So say, since I'm in the music program, music, you have rules. You have to follow rules to get into the career you want to go to. Music is not an easy career to start. It's very hectic and very disorganized, but if you have rules to keep yourself organized, you could probably succeed no matter where you go.
I know you break some rules.
If I have to, I will. But I try to follow the rules as best as possible. If I need to break some on some tight corners, I will.
My name is Ben Griffith. A lot of people know me as Deacon Griffith. The power of the rules, the authority of the rules, depends upon the authority issuing the rules. So that if the authority issuing the rules is valid and worth respecting, the rules have a definite place.
That's
If people are just making up
No, my camera, I tried to flip the camera to me to send to this girl Emily, and it just kept flipping and going back from front
Deacon,
cam.
you break the rules?
I refuse to answer that. It might incriminate me. I plead the fifth.
Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you.
All you have to do is follow 3 simple rules.
The idea is to consider everything. Rules to help your creative side might work and might not work. Check it out. To check out Sister Karita Kemp's 10 enduring rules for the creative life, check out www.improviselive.com. 95.1 KBCM Monarch Radio Campus Talk, right after campus sports at the bottom of every hour, every day, and 7 days a week. You have a topic for consideration. We would like to hear your opinion. Check this out at KBCM Broadcasting Club gmail.com.
95.1
KVCM.
I had to slide that one in there since we were talking about piano.
I need. Oh my gosh.
Now you see why I was asking the questions,
Right. I always struggled with his last name. It's Toten or Toten.
It didn't print out.
Huh?
It didn't print out. When I did it,
And there's
Could
a
I just rip it from-
super good remix of the song.
oh, this is what I need to hear right now. Too, something very soft and to a little bit like George Winston. And when I saw this was recorded live in New York, I was like, yeah, I miss New York. This is the kind of stuff that I miss.
This
Sit
was
in the
actually,
street,
yeah, and
just
it was
like-
in New York.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I miss the most? Or the subway talent. Talent, the subway in New York. You just go in the New York subway and people, that's what a lot of people have got discovered.
Yeah.
People, oh my gosh. What I really dig is when this stuff used to happen in New York and all of a sudden some dancers may be walking by.
Yeah.
I just started twirling to it. Miss that. You'll get that here. You'll get that in the world a lot more because I think people are so disconnected now. People are afraid to get away from technical stuff as opposed to just being. There's an old movie from the 70s that it became a TV show called Fame. And it's all about the schools, like School of the Arts in New York, and how just being free and just being creative. You gotta check it out. There's
Oh, wow.
a lady named Irene Cara. It was her big breakout. First she did the movie Sparkle, then she did that. She did that first, and then that was her big breakout. And then she sang the theme from Jennifer Beals movie, the one, another one in the 80s. She sang the feeling. What a feeling, feels believing. You can have it all, I'm dancing through the light. What is the name of the song? Anyway, but if you check out Fame, the movie Fame, and then the series behind it, you see how free people used to be. And I hope everybody gets that again. It's like when I go out now, we got 20 seconds. It's like I hate people, like instead of grooving to the music or the club, something, everybody's like filming. I'm like, why aren't y'all like
Can
feeling
we
this?
start dancing?
We're going hot. And welcome back. Just keep it moving powerfully, and that's Ugo over there. Going, see, I got you with that one. You're like, oh, see, now you see I was asking for specific music. You were saying about the piano and everything.
Yeah,
That's
just
the jam.
nudging.
And I came in here all like, we all came. The three of us are tired, folks. All three of us, we're tired right now.
We go
But
non-stop.
we just like pepped each other up. But we're mad at Bahan right now because we found out your works at Baskin Robbins. And like, what ice cream? What ice cream? Y'all hear him, right? Y'all hear him in the background. Okay.
But his birthday is gonna be
But his
21
birthday is next week, so
This week.
When is it?
This week.
Oh, this
this
week.
week,
When? What day?
He's switching up the story.
What day? It's Friday. He's trying. I know.
Yeah, I
He's trying to switch it up. It's
I know
all
we
good.
heard last.
I know we heard that too, but now you're trying to say Friday. Okay, so that means next week I got to come up in here with something for you. What you gonna do for your birthday?
Working.
Okay.
We gotta call in on that one.
Okay. But hopefully you're working at something that you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which Baskin Robbins so we can come see you? We just
One
took.
down the street.
The Brit.
No, I don't want to say this.
Oh, don't say the street. The one down the street.
What?
There's
What
one
do
down
you
the street. Oh, because he just probably
You know
doesn't
the
want.
one.
He doesn't want all his
You
fans.
know I'm
to
gonna
come.
Google Maps this right now. Put it on
He just doesn't
blast.
want all his fans to come. Because we're gonna come say, "Yo, happy birthday! Where the cup?"
Oh my god.
Exactly. But I figured that was a little timely piece there because we were talking about the piano and how much emotion that piano. And the thing I loved about it is when you sent me the video, it was live in New York, just filmed like right outside, which I love about New York. We were just talking about all that, and he just brought all that, people walking by and just digging it, and and it seems like you could hear his thoughts through the piano, which is what you were talking about before we went to break, how it was with you, with music and with your art.
Yeah.
So it's how did you discover him?
So when I was watching this guy on YouTube, Casey Neistat, on one of his vlogs, I mean, literally, this is exactly how it went down. He's vlogging, and then he's like, "Hey, wait, hold on, you guys. There's this guy playing a piano on the street." And he goes up to him, and he's acting like he doesn't know him. But as soon as Doughton sees him, Doughton was a guy. If you were listening to the piano guys right now, that is Doughton Nugent. And as soon as Doughton sees Casey, he stops playing. He's like, "Casey, what up?" And like Casey couldn't hide the fact that they knew each other. And so that's how I discovered him. And so as I go to his channel and I'm like listening to his music, I'm like, gosh, I just love the way he plays. Like he's just really passionate about it. And then I found out about his story. How I think he has this thing to where he travels all over the world, and he takes his piano with him. And I mean, he could literally be right outside of a bar, and he will start playing. As you saw, he was in New York in a random corner of the street, and he unloads the piano, starts playing. Like I think he did one where he was in the middle of the desert.
Wow.
Nobody's there, and he wanted to stop, got down, pulled out the piano, starts playing.
So what does he do? Carry it? How does he travel around this thing? It's not like his little keyboard.
No, he has like an upright piano that he plays with, and so I mean.
Well, he must go around with a trailer or something somewhere.
Yeah, I think when it's in the cities, maybe who knows if it's the exact same piano in all you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know for a fact, like, if he's in, like, let's say he lives in Texas, right, where I'm from, and he's in New York, he'll probably just get a van, and he'll be like, I need to rent out this, or maybe he's just at that degree to where, like, Doughton needs to borrow the piano, like, just give it to him.
Right. It's great advertising for them.
Yeah, exactly. And so, so that's how I discovered him, and when I listened to his music, when I was going to, like that one in particular, when I was going through certain things in my life, I would just listen to music like that, and I would listen to those keys, and it would just bring me back into a state, just, I guess, zen, so to speak.
What did you hear every time you listened to it? Was something different every time?
I know for a fact it was something different every time because of how crazy my mind works. But I remember one time I was listening to it, and crazy enough, it brings me back to some of the days of when I was with my aunt, and I know you can see this and you can see this, but there's a tattoo on my arm,
which is printed on the flyer.
Yeah. And it's January 22nd, 2017, and that's the day that my aunt passed away. And so I've had so many beautiful experiences with her. My aunt Lali, I call her Lali, it's her real name, or I guess for everyone out there, it's Laura. And I mean, she, since birth, I had instilled so much love and belief in me, and I have text messages of her, right out the gate. She'll say, "Hey champion, I love you, I hope you're having an amazing day." And when I was doing certain things in my life, when I was starting, I guess, in my career and what I do today, she would just always send positive encouragement texts, and you know, those were the times to where, I mean, when she passed away, it hit me the hardest.
I'm
I
sure.
think it was the hardest thing I've ever had to go through, and there have been quite a few things in my journey of 24. There's been quite a few things that I've gone through, but I think by far that was the hardest. And like listening to music like that just brings me back, you know, all those great memories. And my biggest goal in life was to, I mean, I was always in such a hurry to try to reach success, right? Whatever that means. But I wanted to reach success faster than everyone else, because to shed some light, my aunt, she passed away from cancer. So she was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was really young. I can't remember specifically what age. I just know I was really young, too young to understand really what was going on, and why is my aunt bald, and you know, like what's going on. And they lived in a city 5 hours north of where I live. So I wasn't. It was really like the holidays, or sporadically, like maybe every 2 months would pass by. She'd come down, or I'd go up to Austin, things like that. And so yeah, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and then thank God she beat breast cancer. And then I think, I don't know, I think 2017 it came back, but it came back really strong. And so what ended up happening was she ended up having a lot of tumors all over her body. She had 3 tumors in her head. She was just already at a point to where, I mean, she was just really so brittle. Like, you know, it was scary to try to pick her up because she was just that fragile. And it was a really hard thing for me to see, because it's like, you know, second to my mom, seeing the one person that I truly love and that means so much to me, seeing them go through that, and there's nothing you can do, is a really hard thing. And you know, for me in my journey, like I said, I was just trying to reach success fast enough so that the person, you know, again, second to my mom, that believed in me the most, you know, would be on this earth long enough to see that the person that she believed in made it happen. But I know that, you know, what I'm doing today, and even speaking about her now, I know for a fact she's definitely looking down on me, and I think she'd be proud. And I mean,
she knew that's why she called you champion. And she knew you were already making her proud, probably at every step you were taking. Because we all know that success, as you said before, whatever that is, there's steps to it that we all have to take.
Absolutely.
And as we get older, we understand that some people, boom, there it is, whatever that success may be. But sometimes you just have to go on a different route. And as long as people see you making the effort, that makes them proud right there.
Absolutely.
As opposed to just, oh, no, let me just sit back. Your phone's gonna ring. Okay, excuse me, let me take a nap. You know, no. Get out and do something.
I cannot tell you how much support and love I have received when I made the decision to move to Los Angeles. I mean, I was already receiving love and support, but when I think people saw me get into a very uncomfortable state, and I mean, I come from a city that nobody knows, McAllen, Texas, which is like 20 minutes border to Mexico. Nobody knows where that's at, and I tell them, you know, like, I'm from Texas, McAllen. And they're like, oh, so like Houston? I'm like, no, go like another 5 hours south. And they're like, what? So Mexico? I'm like, sure. But like being a kid, you know, or like, being somebody that comes from a city that nobody even knows, and coming to a city like LA, I mean, it still is in a way like scary, you know what I mean? But when I decided to just make that decision, I can't tell you how much, like, you know, people that I guess continue to watch me and what I do would just reach out, and getting these messages from Instagram and Snapchat and text messages and phone calls, and, you know, hearing people say, you know, watching you do what you're doing is just, it's inspiring. And like, that's all I've ever wanted. I guess that's what you can call success for me. Is I've always just wanted to be able to have a platform to speak on, to share my story, and inspire other people, regardless of where you're from, what you do, what your ethnicity is, or, you know, your financial status. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You can make anything happen. And so, being a kid from McAllen, Texas, and now we're here in Los Angeles doing this.
Doing your thing and doing it.
This is exciting, and this is what I live for.
And you already inspired people, so that's a success story right there. People are like, whoa, he did it.
But but again, I want to also make it clear there's so much more that I need to take care of. I mean, I'm so thankful for everybody and for all the kind messages and all that good stuff, but there are so many ideas that I still have, and there's so much I know that I gotta do,
Yeah.
you know, before I can say, you know, Mama, we made it. Or,
You know, and I want to give a shout out to another passionate person I met recently last week. Her name is Janelle Jackson, and she does a lot for youth, and she has this wonderful event coming up Sunday. It's called Bachelor and Bachelorette Auction. It's at the Carson Community Center in Hall B at 801 East Carson Street in Carson, 90745. It's a $40 donation, and you make a bid and help a kid. So basically, you're going in there, and when they say Bachelor and Bachelorette Auction, they're actually you're picking a kid to help give them a donation to help them do whatever they need to do to go
That's
forward
amazing.
with their life.
Wow.
She does. I'm going to go represent the station, as well as since I also do real estate. One of her things that she really promotes to the kids is getting them ready now to teach them how to become property owners.
That's so important.
And that is not as hard as you think. That's one of her things. She's like, you know, she wants to teach all the basics, and that's what this is here. And it's a whole networking program
Wow.
that she does. And she actually, I met her because I was filming. I wonder if I'm still under an NDA of who I filmed with. So I don't know. But I was filming, I was on a set with this very famous, if you follow basketball, I think I can say it now because it's done. But, because we always have some
Yeah.
NDAs,
Oh my gosh,
and I work
yes.
on so many things where it's like code names and this, that, and the other until
Yep.
I think I just couldn't say it that day. But there is a new person, the initials AD, that was just drafted to the Lakers, and I was doing the thing with him.
Okay.
And she just happened to be at the rec center. She was the boss of the rec center when we were filming the commercial.
Oh wow.
And he was traded from, is it Phoenix? Wherever he came, he's a really big deal in basketball, right? AD are his initials.
We'll talk about
but
it.
But
more
yeah,
often.
he's on the Lakers. He was with the Lakers. So anyway, she saw my card. She's like, "Oh, I need to talk to you because I also run an organization where I teach kids about owning real estate.
That's
I teach.
amazing.
She does all these positive programs for kids, which is one of these. And this is one of the
That's so
programs where the person, each time they do a donation to have a bachelorette auction, you're actually helping that kid. Okay, I'm giving you this amount of money, so this is going to help you reach this sort of thing. And this lady, she does all that. And she is just great. And she also treats her employees as family, which everybody should. As opposed to being employees, it's like, no, let's sit down. Like, family has problems, so let's talk it out.
Yeah.
And then we can go forward and we can move forward as a family getting this stuff done. It's not just like I'm your boss
Yeah.
kind of thing. So we talk all the time, and I just want to share that for anyone that's out there listening. If you're in the Carson area, again, it's called Bachelor and Bachelorette Auction. It's this Sunday, September 23rd at 12 p.m. at Carson Community Center, Hall B, 801 East Carson Street in Carson, California, 90745. $40 donation, make a bid and help a kid. And for tickets, information, call your event host listed on the reverse side of all proceeds go to nonprofit organizations that work with youth. Now, I forgot to bring the opposite side up. But at least you know where the Carson Community Center is, and come on and make a $40 donation.
Come on.
Just show up. Just show up. That's all you ever gotta do. So I wanted to put that out there because I thought it was perfect timing to you talking about your aunt and you, how you have represented yourself to everybody where you just came from in Texas, and that's what this is all about as well.
It's amazing.
So I just wanted to put that out there.
Absolutely.
And I didn't want to do another song.
I'm actually excited. I don't know which song you, and I know I'm gonna get into a live as soon as you start playing it.
I hope I'm picking the right one, but let's see. Well, it could be this one or it could be that one. Because,
You know what?
they
All
all
the
got
songs,
stories.
whatever song that you put on, I promise you, it will spark a memory and an
Okay.
emotion that will more than likely make me feel good.
Okay, then that's all that matters. And we're just going to keep thinking the butter pecan ice cream that Baham's going to bring us next week. And we'll all be good. So stay with us on G-Tap and you're listening to Just Keep It Moving Powerfully with my special guest, Hugo. I didn't say it right that time. Hugo. See, look, I told you I was tired, so now I'm so focused on Hugo, I forgot to call it Sterling.
You calling me by
Solano.
my government name, but that's okay.
Oh God, don't mention the government names. On that note, we're really going to go to the music.
And
Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back. You're listening to Just Keep It Moving Powerfully. Yes.
That's hilarious.
Look, I just flipped the switch. I don't know nobody.
Let's see both of y'all smiling
You
now.
know this.
This is the type of music we used to play more.
So it's right on time.
They have Kanye on this.
I'm glad they beeped out everything so I could play it.
Was it on the system?
Yeah, no, it came the one I ripped. You can hear all the beeps. Because the other ones he gave me, I couldn't do them because they were all.
Someone just texted me my government name. LOL.
Is that Anthony Davis? That's what
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah, it's Anthony Davis.
I was like, I thought it was. Is that the guy with the unibrow?
Unibrow, yeah.
Is that what they call it?
And he played with the Pelicans. No,
I don't follow that.
it don't matter. Well, no, he did because Zion Williams plays with the Pelicans with Lonzo Ball now.
Did he move to Lakers?
But yeah, he did move to Lakers.
Yeah, he did.
That's why I
I knew who he was right before they came, but nobody was allowed to know because we had to keep the rec center. We didn't want all these people to like all of a sudden, because you can't close down a rec center when you can't close down parks and stuff when you film it because it's public property. You can try to ask people that come to a certain area, so we had to keep it like quiet. So the minute he stepped out the car, and then we were like, okay, let's hurry up. You know? And luckily it was on a Monday or Tuesday. It was a Monday because my birthday was that Tuesday, and it was real early in the morning.
Someone just texted me today like, dude, I love you. This is your jam. I was like, I know. That's so cool.
So I did all right on that one. Okay. Now let's see if I do all right on the other one. You know you sparked that, right? Do you get how you sparked that? With the whole like non-stop spark, gotta keep going, success, blah blah blah.
Picture of this, I can
Yes,
put it on the video.
Please do. Yeah. Are they liking the show?
Yeah,
Everybody saying?
people are like legit texting me right now. Like someone was like always hearing the best music. I'm like, I don't know. And then that person, Jerry Curl, I call him Jerry Curl. He's like, my government name, really? I was like, yeah. You know, whoever's listening is at home, like, going hard.
Both of y'all will smile on this. I was like, okay. Alright.
You heard this song before, right? Or was it?
Nah, because I don't listen to this kind of music very much anymore.
Oh my.
But see, that's why I gotta read. I'm gonna read this right here. Especially because some of it, when they start cussing and everything, I'm just become the old buddy thing.
I know.
Because I don't need to hear all the language. I need to hear the message. I grew up in the beginning of rap, the beginning of hip hop, the beginning.
So like,
You weren't like that.
were you into like Swisher House?
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. We can talk about all that when we come back on the radio. You know what all that mess is? It's like 99 names. That's like paint colors. You got 10 names and call it white. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna read this little thing you told me about this. I guess I should have read it all. I didn't. I told you I have time. I'm usually a little bit more prepared, but you know.
No, I feel like we're doing great. I'm loving this so much.
Hey, but I do like the track. See, this is what I mean. Like, I will be jamming to this track because I love to dance. And people be like, looking at DJ, I'm like, what?
You know what? I'll say it on the air. I'll wait till I
We
say it.
got 10 seconds. 10 seconds and we'll be up. Here we go. And welcome back, everybody, to Just Keep It Moving Powerfully. And yeah, you hear him over there. Sterling's like, getting it. You getting it. I got him on that one too. He's like, his face got all red and all happy.
Oh,
Ron too. Both of them were like, they were like smiling, like, yeah, we awake now. We awake now.
Oh my god.
Because, you know, I see where you said, you know, that Drake for you has always been your go-to artist since
Oh my
forever,
God,
basically.
yes.
You said, you know, and that wasn't even the song that you said that after, but
Yeah.
why has he always been your go-to artist?
Man, Drake, where do I even start? So Drake has, you know, obviously a big track record of songs that he's putting out, and Take Care was an amazing album, and then Nothing Was the Same dropped in 2013, one of my favorite songs, Furthest Thing, you know, and then this song. Drake has just, for me, been this, just like this icon, and you know when you get caught up in like rappers and you see what they're doing and you're just like, oh my gosh, and like that's what Drake did for me. And like, besides the music, I would actually watch interviews of him and just the way he would carry himself in interviews, like kind of like on a radio station like what we're doing right now. I would just watch him and the way his responses were, and I'm like, my God, like at the time I was young, so I think maybe I might have been just like a big fangirl, so to speak, right? But as I get older and I still listen to the music that he's putting out, I mean, there's a message behind all of it, and there are some songs where people don't know if he's talking about his aunt or his uncle. I think he's talking about his aunt.
Why? Is it a family thing? Because I don't know much about him, so you can fill me in. There's
Yeah.
probably people out there like me that don't know it. But then there's probably people like me like, why don't you
Yeah.
know? But
So like Aubrey Drake Graham, this is government name.
oh no, let's not go there.
So Aubrey Drake Graham, you know, his parents, you know, split up at one point. In one of his songs, you know, he talked about, one of the lyrics is, you hand me the keys to the Lexus and, you know, drive around the city or stuff like that, and then, you know, coming home late night and stuff like that. There's just like this whole thing, I can't remember verbatim, you know, I have a million things going on in my head right now, but if we were to pull up the song, I'd be like, that's the song. You know, but in hearing some of those lyrics, and you know, in one of them he talks about his mother crying. His mother's so short, so her tears were basically like in his stomach. Hearing all that kind of reminded me of certain things, I guess, that have happened in my life, and I was just like, you know, wow.
I
It
just
just
more
resonated.
Drake songs.
Yeah, we have Hold On, We're Going Home, Best I Ever Had.
Is that one
Those
of
are
them?
Drake. Those are not the songs that I'm referencing, but Best I Ever Had was still a really, really good song. Just Hold On, We're Going Home. I mean,
Oh wait, that's the new one. Feeling home. That one.
yeah,
Oh, I love that song.
Going home. Well, that's not from the newest one, but
I like that.
I was about to make a comment on that song, but probably best I hold back on that one.
Why?
You know, if you're driving late night and you know you have your girlfriend or you know a little lady friend, pop that gem in there, you know, see what happens. If we were back in Texas, I could tell you where to go once you put that song. You know, once you start. There's this thing called "Don't Drake and Drive." And
Don't drink
have
and
you ever
drive.
heard that expression?
I haven't.
You haven't. You see, nobody in here has heard the expression "Don't drink,
Don't drink and drive. Okay.
There's a reason behind it. You might just go back to your ex crying or something.
Go back to your ex crying.
Don't get me started with Marvin's room, man. You
Oh
know?
my god. Go back to your ex crying. I love that one. Baby, please, baby.
Drake, he's poetic. I mean, we won't get into the whole like.
But I like that song. I forgot that is him.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mahid Jordan is singing the
Yeah. It's a good song.
the high note that I can't do right now, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that song. I love that song. That's actually, you know, ooh, and I had a thought. We were off the radio. You said you leave when you got to come back home because I was saying like I don't listen to a lot of today's. He's like, I know you know about Drake. I'm like, unfortunately I don't because I don't listen to a lot of today's rap. And you had a comment I was saying about like if the song was playing, I would be like out on the floor grooving.
Oh
but
my
most people are sort of
goodness.
feeling the music. They're just sitting up there Facebook and live. So I'm like,
Yeah.
99% of the people are just watching the DJ. I'm used to it. My people I roll with. No, we on the floor.
Thank
We on.
God.
Well, you know, you saw that from the party where we met.
Yeah.
We on the floor.
No, and
Yeah.
the comment that I had towards that I was like, you know what, maybe I should wait till I'm on air to say this, was the first time I went to a club here in Los Angeles. I mean, it was really nice. It was a really nice club. I think it was 3 stories, and there's like trees in the center, like real trees. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm there, and the music's good, and I'm looking around, and people are just like, you know how in film we do this thing when we're filming, like so that we're just
Like
not standing
panning?
still.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Just
like
moving about, yeah.
jive, you know, like
Right,
in
right.
an oval. That's what people are doing with their drinks, and I'm just like, that's weird.
I think this might be Jake coming in. Hold on, y'all. We got a phone call. Hold on, y'all. Hold that thought. You're going to hear me answer the phone live here. 95.1 KBCM. Hey, man. Hey. I'm up here live with my guest, Mr. Hugo Sterling Solano, and we got Bahan over there taping, so we're going to get you on the air with us. Let me see if I can do this right. And folks are listening, so hold on, Jake. Hold on.
ABC Radio. Live and direct in the mix.
And then I got to go here to the phone. Y'all keep talking amongst yourselves, because you're going to actually see if I can do this phone there. Let's see. Let's see if I got Jake on here. Jake, are you with us? Hey, we did it. We did it. We did it. So, Jake is the guest that I had before, guys. I was telling you about. He's got a concert coming this weekend. And Sterling is a wonderful director of photography, Jake, and he's on there with us as well.
Hey, hey. It's going really well. It's nice to meet you. How's your afternoon going? Oh.
But he's got this great little concert coming up this weekend that I'm going to go check out, and we're going to go record it. I'm going to represent the station there. You got to check out Jake Bernard. Dude, his music, especially because of the way you talk about music and the way Jake's music is, and like you hear it in his voice, just like you talk with the piano. Jake, y'all got to like meet each other and talk. Plus, he's a director of photography, dude. Video.
Game changing. You know what? You couldn't have said it better. I cook. I know how to do DP, and I so
He's
many
the
things
man.
I'm pretty good at listening to skills.
Jake, come on and tell us about the backyard show this weekend while we got the audience here. Tell us about it. It's all yours. Of course. Nice.
Oh wow.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Okay. Nice. 213. The 213. 215, I'm sorry. That's here. Actually, 213 is here, isn't it? Is that here?
I'll be honest, I'm 956. You know, I'm not.
917 New York. Sorry. 917 New York. Bam. Okay. Okay. Cool. Mm-hmm. I see that on the flyer here. I'm putting a picture on the, because we're filming it here, obviously we got a couple cameras, so I'm putting it on the camera so they can see it right now. and everybody's listening, so Sterling's getting text messages, because I hope I put you on the air right. I hope everybody can hear you, because because the last time I struggled with that. I'm like, I hope I just hit the right button. But if not, I can talk about it anyway. I can talk about it if they don't hear you, because I'll talk about it when we get off, and I'll still talk about the fire. There we go. Boom. It's done. Fries. You got me a fries, dog. You got me a fries. So there you go. When this says fries on site.
What more do you want?
Okay. Right on. Nice. 5 a.m. or 5 p.m.? Because I don't think you're going to find anybody at 5. I know I ain't going to be there at 5 a.m. You can forget that. And I love watching you, dude, and I got your back. But, all of us, look, we all tired today. Now it's 4 of us that are tired. Dude, we started off the show like we're all tired. Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly.
But you know what? I have to tell you,
Very
I
accurate.
wanted you to also come on at the same time, because you and Sterling, kind of like you're in the arts in different ways, but you all had that passion that brought you to LA, and you're both just doing it, and you believe in giving back. You believe in making people feel
Absolutely.
good. That's why I also wanted you to call in while both of you were here, because it's funny how, you know, two different paths can come to the same yield section, the same merge section, I should say, on the highway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, I just think it's good for you two to meet, even if it is like virtually over the phone here in the station.
I love it.
Oh, thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. It's very true. Exactly.
Yeah, I've always said collaboration over competition. I mean, if people could kind of just grasp that concept, I mean, there's so much work out there, and there's a lot of opportunities. I mean, and even somebody like me who came to the city not really knowing anybody, but again, I was willingly, open to the idea of going and meeting people and putting my face out there. I mean, the opportunity is there. You know what I mean? And so.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Absolutely.
Especially when you lock arms with individuals that have the right vision, the same drive, work ethic as you, and you guys can come together. I mean, it's a powerful thing. It's a very powerful thing with music. When you combine music and film together, it's very powerful.
So you guys, I want you guys, now that you virtually met through the station, I want you guys somehow set it up so you guys meet. What are you doing Saturday?
It's this Saturday.
You got plans? You want to come check this out with me if you can? I'm putting you on the spot in front of all the people that are listening.
I'm really thinking
got
myself,
him,
like,
Jake. I got
what
him,
do
Jake.
I have going? Wait, you're talking the event with the fries is this Saturday?
Yes. See what I'm saying? It's about.
I'm sorry.
We love Jake. We love the music. Love my boy. Support him forever. However, there
I'll bring
are fries
ranch.
there.
I'll
there
bring
are
the
fries.
ranch and the ketchup. So.
Jake, they're fries. I'm sorry, Jake, they're fries.
No, honestly, I will definitely. I'm gonna take a look at that because if I don't have anything going on, I would.
Yeah, you can come along with me, and because then you bring your camera. You can film while I'm interviewing. And there we go.
Absolutely.
What do you think of that, Jake Bernard?
Bada-bing.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Thank you. Yeah.
And the stage looks so great. This picture here
awesome.
looks really cool. I love the look of the stage. It's really, and everybody, whoever's listening, if you go to my Instagram page, GTAP LLC, you'll also see I just put the flyer up on my page, and also you see Sterling's up on the page as well. So, and then of course just go to Jake Bernard Music. Jake, go ahead, plug, go ahead. Go. Yeah, you. Yeah, hot dog.
Nice. Exclusive.
Awesome, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Sure, man, and get back and do your thing, and like I said, hopefully I'll get you and Sterling together in the room one day. We can work some stuff out. And I'm having a I'm having a concert at my house October 20th. A friend of mine is having a little jazz concert at my home, so we're trying to get into a thing there. So I'll see if both of y'all maybe go swing by. Yep, October 20th, and
I'm already locked in.
oh, nice. Boom. Okay. We'll have fries. We'll have fries, just saying. All right. Lots of fries. But yeah, I'll probably be singing a tune with her, but it's going to be nice. Jamila Ford, who's been one of my guests, she's going to be the main attraction, and she's going to have a couple different duet partners, and yeah, it's going to be cool. So Jake, thank you, sir. Go and get back to your life, and we're going to continue on this show with Just Keep It Moving Powerfully, and thank you for calling in, Mr. Jake Bernard Music, and break a leg on Saturday, and I will see you then. Okay, buddy. Have a good one.
Likewise, thank you so much.
Take it easy, man. Bye. So that was kind of cool. Are we all still here? Uh-oh. I
Hey-o.
can't hear anybody. I can't hear us. Uh-oh. What did I do? Are we here? Ooh, I feel like I did something wrong. There we go. Are
We're
we
just
here?
pressing
Are we here?
buttons.
Uh-oh. I can't hear us. What in the world just happened?
Is the phone turned off from here?
Phone's off. Everything's saying I'm not hearing myself. Folks, I hope you're hearing us.
Folks, if you can hear my voice, text my number.
Yeah, exactly. If you can hear us, send Sterling a text, because something just happened in the studio where we have lost
I'll keep an eye out on this phone.
Our
People will be quick.
volume.
We're on air because the light's not.
Yeah, I mean, we got hoping, but for some reason.
Oh, someone did just, how funny, someone did literally just text me saying yes.
They can hear us?
I think so.
Text back, folks, whoever you are, say yes, we
Yeah,
can hear you.
okay, my phone is literally, okay, yeah, multiple people are saying I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know why, folks, but all of a sudden we can't
just
hear
won't listen to
ourselves.
then.
So I'm just going to take these earphones off. I guess we'll just have to listen to ourselves this way. That's what, well, folks, you know, it is a school radio station, and sometimes things happen, and I have not a clue what just happened and why we cannot hear ourselves out of the
But we're
earphones, but we're still here, so we're going to keep talking. Anyway, so that was Jake. I wanted you to meet Jake, because
Nice.
I think that he came in with the same thing. He moved in from cross country, same passion like you. He's like just did it, and I got turned on to his music. I actually know him because I go to my Trader Joe's, and I met him there at Trader Joe's. It's like a little family Trader Joe's that I go to, the one in Toluca Lake, and so I've met him and several other artists. And we just started talking, and he's always smiling, always has a smile in his voice, even when you're hearing it, and always upbeat. And he's like, I sing a little bit, well, that kind of thing. So he turned me on to his music, and I just was like floored.
Wow.
And I had all these special songs I really loved because I could hear all this passion in his music. And I had a couple of favorites, and I would come back to the store and I would hit him up, and his eyes would pop. I was like, yeah, dude, and this song at 2 minutes and 13 seconds. I mean, I got like that deep into his music.
Jeez.
He was like, okay. So,
It's like you and Drake.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I felt like his voice, he reminds me of, there's some older folk artists that he reminds me of from back in the day, like a guy named John Denver. He also reminds me a little bit of, God, there's so many of the newer guys. Was the guy that made the song Daughters, John Mayer. He reminds me very John Mayer. The redheaded guy from Scotland or Ireland.
I know exactly
Yeah, him.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
now
he's
I'm going
very
to be
much
upset until I say the name.
that. I'm still like, why did we not hear ourselves? I did not touch a thing. But for some reason, we are not coming through the earphones at all. Oh well. But Yeah, so I just like really loved his music. So he came on, he called in one time, and then he came on another time we actually played live and stuff. But his whole journey, he was into finance before he started doing his music
That's
fully.
crazy because I was in finance.
Were you really? See,
I was going to
boom.
school for a minor in communication and a
Okay.
bachelor in business finance.
That's crazy. So but his thing even with finance is like he wouldn't just like sell people policies.
Yeah.
He was like really concerned that it was a part of their life plan. You know,
Oh,
that
wow.
kind of, so he was very conscientious about that. And you can kind of just hear all that in his music. So it kind of reminded me of a lot of the background with you. So I'm glad you guys got to meet and I got
Absolutely.
to talk about his show. And so we were back to the whole people in the club and we like holding the phone and what's up with that, y'all?
It's
Come
funny
on, y'all.
because-
Come on, guys. Tell me
Yeah.
what's going on.
So,
what is your age group up to?
I don't
So-
know if you know, I'll be honest, like in Texas, it wasn't until it wasn't until I was so close to moving here that my friends convinced me into going out and, going to the clubs with them. And when I'm in the club, like, I'm wilding. I'm the guy that if you don't even know how to dance, you're going to start doing something to make it seem like you know how to dance. And when I came here to LA, I'm like, people are sipping on their drinks and whatnot, but they're just bouncing in their own little bubble. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? And people are looking at me like, why is this guy acting out? Like, why is he being the one, with the spotlight doing moves? And I'm like, well, because this is a club and that's what you do. You dance and that's how we do. I mean, why would I come to a club just to stand and talk to people? It's not realistic. Why would you go?
Yeah, I don't get it. And I mean, especially, okay, folks, I hit a button so we can hear each other now. Hopefully you can.
It's funny how significant,
text people, can you still hear us? Because I just hit a button. Just because we can hear us, I'm hoping you can still hear us. But I don't get it, man. It's like, when I hear music, and the same thing like when you say you play music, it's like a part of my being that just comes alive. It's like this dormant part in there that I can have like a whatever day, and all of a sudden a piece of music comes on and it's like, whoa.
Changes everything.
Yeah, man. So I don't understand, and I kind of feel sad for people when I see them who are not like taking all that in and letting it just get in you.
But you know what? I don't even think that it's that people are not letting it in. I think it's more of I think it's like the fear of like being judged. Like if you're dancing, like if you don't know how to dance, and people are like, you're just afraid of what other people are gonna say or the kind of facial expressions you'll get, or whatever it may be. And like people, here's the thing: when people start to realize that the opinions of others, the facial expressions, all that jazz, when they come to the realization that that doesn't pay their bills or that like they cannot live for the approval of others, they will become significantly happier in their life.
But why? I mean, what do you think that's happened that? I don't know. I'm trying, and I'm seriously asking these questions because I try to tune into this myself. What has happened so much that has taken away that joyous adventure that people had as children or they were young? I mean, what is it that's taken that away that people seem to either, I don't know if they don't want to experience it, they're not put in the position to experience it. I just don't know what has happened.
It could be like a magnitude of things, but hopefully what I'm about to say makes sense and kind of like ties into all this. Is that I think when we're young, the type of heart and mind that we have is just so pure, and it's all imagination. I mean, that's literally it's all imagination. Our thoughts are all over the place, and depending on our environment and the people we're surrounded by, it starts as we get older. It shapes. It shapes everything, the way we do things, the way we carry ourselves, the way we speak. All of that. And so I think that sometimes we allow society to conform us into what they want us to be and what they think is best for us, and the kind of like outcome of that is you're just like a byproduct of what someone else thinks was best for you in your life.
Interesting you said that, because it just made me think about what society is going through now, and especially gentlemen your age versus when I was your age.
Yeah.
There's a lot more political stuff going on, and a lot more restrictions to be. Like when I grew up, we didn't have play dates. We just knocked on the door and just played. So it's very interesting because I can see that now, based on what you said. There are a lot more restrictions and boxes. Certain boxes I think that you all had to deal with to be put into.
Yeah.
I didn't, so we had
I
a little
was
bit
one
more
of those.
freedom to go play in the playground. We could just go out the door and play in the playground.
Yeah. But no worry.
But you all, we have to have this play date. We have to have this play date. It has to be here. You have to and I'm wondering if some of that kind of squashed some of the freedom. Maybe it was very curious to me because that statement you made is making me think about it. Like, I didn't have play dates. We would just knock on the door, and it was a bit like when I grew up. Literally, it's like the old saying: "It takes a village to raise a child." It was a village. It was like there was a village, and if you got in trouble at this house, you got your butt whipped at that house. You come home, and your parents, it's like it's just like your play aunts, your play uncles. It's like, and at the same time, they're also your family. So yeah, just go spend the night. And you'll be like, I think there was more freedom to be a child at some point, because I think some of that, unfortunately, because of the state of the world, you all may have missed. So maybe that's why people don't feel as free when they're in a nightclub. I'm just going to be. I mean, I got friends that can't count the 2-4 to save their life, but they still get out there and boogie. You know what I mean?
I cannot tell you how much music has helped me when it comes to dancing, because there's this individual I know. And she's really into like salsa dancing and stuff, like bachata and things like that. And I remember one night, when her and I were dancing, I'm just counting in my head 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, stuff like that. And I mean, if you are a musician artist and you know how to read music and count all that stuff, it's the same thing with dancing. I literally would just say that in my head, except I'm just doing it to my head. But I mean, like going back to what we just kind of like commented on, it could be a magnitude of things, whether people are afraid of judgment, whether, what people might say, or, oh, you look dumb. And I can't tell you how many times I've told people that once you break that, once you break that chain, I mean, it changes everything for you. You don't walk around and, trying to be this robot or whatever.
Well, I'm glad that at least you two that I have sitting in here with me, obviously you all haven't let that dictate what you're going to do, because you both are doing it. You both are doing your thing, which is great, which means somebody in you all's court, said, no, let's just do that. And Bahan, this is why I'm going to put you on the spot. So come on over here and get on that mic. I told you to do it. Because he had a very great experience. I'm sorry I don't have any headphones for you because they don't work. But just bring the mic on up to you. Bring the mic on up to you. Come on, keep going. That's there you go. So I always say Bahan's last name wrong, so I always have him do it. And he does it with these 2 fingers when he points when he does it. So just imagine him pointing his 2 fingers. So here we go. Bahan. Here we go. So
to run that back.
Yeah, right. So Bahan had a great experience that you two were talking about, and I think it's great to be able to share that too, because you're DP, he's on his way to being all of that. So folks, I'm going to let these 2 guys tell you about this great experience. Bahan, take it.
So pretty much, I just visited Canon. They have a facility, Burbank, in the iHeart Radio building. They have a bunch of studios there, Warner Bros. Records. But anyway, you could get an appointment there, or you could just walk in. And they show you all these great cameras. They show an 8K projector, which it costs like $700,000.
Oh my God!
It's like,
are you serious?
So, yeah, 600 or 700,000.
Wow.
It costs a house.
Wow.
For an 8K projector. And if you don't know, most movie theaters are like 2K now technically.
So they're not even 4K yet?
Maybe like. See, the thing is, movie theaters, they're too expensive. These projectors, so it's not beneficial for them.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
most
that.
projectors are 2K. 4K is in the future, and then 8K, that's way like.
We will not be here.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. So like the stuff that you play at home that you can upload to 4K or whatever, so you'll never be able to, not never, but at this point you couldn't see that same, resolution? Is that what the K means? So you won't see that in the movie theater.
Well, I mean, like, it's kind of interesting because all the time when I talk to people, I'll ask them, what are you shooting in? And they're, oh, we're shooting in 4K. And sometimes I think to myself, and I'm like, why are we shooting in 4K when not everybody has devices
Yeah.
or TVs at home
Right.
that are 4K compatible? But I will say this, sometimes the reason why some of us like to shoot in 4K is because when we have to punch in on a certain clip,
Okay.
it's far much more clear. Like the resolution on the image, you can, I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Here's my philosophy about that, because
There's this
I think you should, in my opinion, you should film the highest quality you can. Can you guess why? You're future-proofing it. You're future-proofing. How many times have you watched movies and they're crappy? And then you watch 2001 Space Odyssey or something, and it feels like they could have shot it yesterday.
Got
'Cause it's so high quality.
So
So I
does that
think-
does that help, like if they have to go remaster something? So you already take, is that the same process as like if it was to be remastered? How does all that?
I mean, when it comes to stuff like that, and like remastering, I really think people, the reason why they're shooting in 4K is just because when they punch in on certain clips, it still keeps a clean image, like the highest resolution possible. And it's really funny because as you were talking about movies, a lot of people know this about me, despite that I make shorts, right, and I do other specific style of videos, I rarely do I watch movies. I actually do not like going to the movies because I can't, I'm so ADD, ADHD, like ADD, like everything that your parents don't want you to have. I had all of that, so to get me to sit still for like an hour and a half is like a big challenge.
Wow.
So it's so funny, like people ask me, oh, like, what's your motivation, or like, what's your movie? And I'm like, dude, the last movie I saw in theater that I can think of was Great Gatsby in 2013. Jesus.
Wow.
Okay, so, yeah. And they're like, okay, but how can you sit in front of your computer? And I'm like, well, that's different. I'm bringing, my thoughts into a reality. I'm willing to sit there. My mom has seen me where I think it's like 10 o'clock at night, and maybe my mom will get up and get water at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm still there working on my computer.
Yeah, my old buddy, friend, roommate who moved out here, the same thing. I used to tell him just go to bed, but now he's an award-winning editor. He's
Wow.
like Michael Bay's guy. His name is Joe Hubbard. And
That's amazing.
Yeah, he moved out here, and I was the first person he met here in LA. He's my roommate. I had the basement in my house, and the basement was his. And he sat there for hours and hours. I'm telling you, he came out to be a director. Now he's like all these huge trailers that you see for I don't know, a lot of the Michael Bay stuff. A lot of the it's Joe. Just look him up, Joe Hubbard,
Wow.
and that's Joe's exactly like both of them. So, what was the highlight of your Canon?
Getting to play around with high-end cameras that cost like $16,000, lenses that are like $8,000 that we can probably never afford unless you like rent it or something. Well, right now,
That's crazy.
it's a lot of the highlight. You recording like log 1, log 2, and then you drop the raw footage into Adobe or DaVinci or something, and you could. There's like this presets you could do where since it's raw footage, you can change the color, saturation, change it to whatever you want.
Yeah.
And that was
Just
pretty
put a
cool
LUT
to
on
see.
it, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So does that motivate you even more just to keep going? Doing what you're
I mean,
doing?
I don't know. I got this feeling where my blood was boiling. I just wanted to grab
So
every
dope.
camera.
Yeah.
You didn't take a bag in there with you, did you? And then
I
come
was-
out with the
I
bag
was-
kind of puffy. Just wondering. I don't
I
know.
was
man.
tempted to take one of the cameras, be like,
Yeah.
He's back away from the mic because he's saying all
That's so
that.
funny. I had a similar experience. It wasn't until I moved out here to LA that I really started working with like very high-end production cameras and lenses that I didn't really even know how to pronounce. I remember there was this, it's pronounced Zeiss, but I was saying, I think Zeus.
That's Z-I-E-S-S?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Zeiss, yeah.
And someone was like, hey, it's Zeiss. And I was like, all right. And then, learning about anamorphic lenses and what they do and all this other stuff. And you're talking about, this is just glass. That's the crazy part. It's literally just glass, and some of these lenses, like these anamorphic lenses, run at least maybe like $30,000.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Hold that note, fellas. I gotta do some legal stuff here, but I want y'all to keep up this conversation because each one teach one. So we'll be right back. Stay with us. We're talking to Vahan and to Mumu Just keep it moving powerfully. I gotta take care of some station identification stuff, but we'll be right back.
5.1 KBCM Monarch Radio Campus News. Students get by to do construction in the North ABA branch of the Business Journalism Building.
See, you talking about you gonna be nervous. You get right up there, we're just doing your thing. What are you talking about?
Well, you know that thing you said why, like you would just go to your friend's house?
Yeah.
That's literally how it was in Armenia. I think it's just a cultural thing. 'Cause I lived in Armenia for 11 years.
Why didn't you say that on air?
Oh, because I know we went away from that. No,
That's
you know how
a
my
big
show
statement.
runs. My show runs like, we just talk.
Like I came here, I was in 5th grade when I came here.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, like I used to, like, hey, let me get your number, I'll call you. We can hang out. I was like, well, I have to ask my mom. You have to ask her mom for your.
Yeah, so it seems like
In Armenia, it's like, come out.
yeah, come on
Playing
out.
soccer.
Right, exactly. Same thing like how I grew
I
up.
remember in the summertime, like my friend, I had this guy Chris in my neighborhood, and he lived like my house was right here, his house was like right there. So I would literally walk over, and his mom would answer the door, and I'm like, I know Chris is home, you know, and she's like, yeah, and he would hear me, so he'd come right to the door, and we would literally play basketball, football, baseball, like from like I don't know, 10 in the morning till when it was dark.
Yeah.
And the only time we would stop playing is if we got hungry.
Yeah.
And he'd either come to my place or I'd go to his place. And there was food at either or place.
This camera's good.
Oh, it's done?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like, so I don't know.
The battery lasted what, an hour and a half?
Oh, you know what?
Hour 20, hour 30.
Do you have your cable?
I don't.
Okay.
This one
Not
still,
for that one.
this one still has 2 more bars on
We
it.
got 20 more minutes. We got 20 minutes. So you get whatever you want to get. If you want to roam or do whatever you want to do.
I'll just do what I did last time.
Because at this point, I want to start leading up to how you started getting into your stream of conscious to where I want to bring you, because we don't have much time. So I'm gonna move it along because I've been having so much fun, but I'm like, oh, we
I
gotta
know.
like get it to,
We're gonna be here all night.
yeah, right? And I still gotta go back to work. I still got contracts to write, and I got family in town and friends like, can you come meet us? Can you come meet us?
You know what's crazy? Speaking about real estate, when I go back to Texas just for the holidays, I'm actually gonna hopefully take my license again.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's something
Nice.
I've been looking at. My mom brought it up. She's like, "When are you going to, take your real estate license exam?" And I was like, "You know what? Right now. No better time than right now."
Just do it. Oh, Jake's such a good guy.
We're coming up on you, bro.
Can they still hear us?
Oh,
Are we
yeah.
still getting comments?
Yeah, people are messaging me.
Nice. Because you're not live. You're not Instagram live.
No,
Okay.
they're, like
My name is
these people are
Persephone.
just
I'm a music
straight
and business arrangements
texting.
major, and
Nice.
I believe that rules all depend on the situation.
Marcella,
So
my
say,
dad,
like, since I'm in a
Jerry,
music
Adi,
program,
Michael,
in music you have rules.
Morgan,
you have to follow
Gus,
rules to get
Vicky,
into
So is
Shane.
everybody all over the
where you
place
wanna go
that
to.
are listening?
Music is
Are
not
they in
an
Texas?
easy
Are they
career.
here?
It's gone.
Some of them are in Texas, some of them are
Very
here.
Nice.
Disorganized, but you have rules to keep yourself organized.
Yeah, I just got another text.
You'll probably succeed no matter where you go. If I have to, I will.
That's so cool.
But I try to keep my
Thanks for jumping on there.
No problem.
Appreciate that.
I need to break some to, like,
If it's tech stuff, if it's tech stuff, I'll jump on it.
Okay. See, I knew how to get you on there. You just went for it.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do that. I think I'm gonna play one quick song and then we'll come in.
I'll be honest, I forgot which songs I said. You know, like,
Well, I could only do 4 of them
okay,
because the other ones were.
perfect. But it worked out.
Yeah, it did.
Because when I know, and it was funny because our emails were like either really late at night or like super early in the morning, and that just shows like how non-stop we are. Like, I genuinely mean that. I maybe sleep like 4 hours. Last night I went to bed at 4 and got up at 8:30. The night before I was up by 5:45 and went to bed at 1.
I just can't do it anymore though. It's like
I can't do it because I actually have a condition where when my body takes on too much stress, what happens, it's called Gilbert's disease, to where my red and white blood cells do not break down to my liver, which in return causes my body to shut down. And I ended up in the hospital 4 years ago, December 19th, and didn't get out till December 24th. It's crazy.
Because of stress?
Literally. Because of how much? Oh.
I don't know if it fit. I don't know if it fit, but I just like the title.
Who is it?
Oh, it does fit. It's talking about making it to the top. It's fine.
Those drums?
The weights.
So we'll have about 10 minutes when we come back in to get to now. And that'll kind of go by fast. So, because at 8:55, that's when I gotta take us out and play a song out. Talking about making it to the top. Okay.
Who is this?
It's, I know the artist is Moon. I don't remember the name.
It says Long Moon Fall. Long Moon? Is that his name?
Long Moon?
It's called Fall or something?
Yeah, Low Moon, and then the song is Fall. From the album Forgiveness.
I don't think I've heard this one.
Yeah, it's a really dope song.
Very lo-fi.
Yeah.
Okay, back in. Going hot.
Love that song.
And welcome back to Just Keep It Moving Powerfully. I'm G-Tap, your host, and I'm here with Hugo Sterling Solano. And he was over here just giving us a little percussion on that.
Oh man.
And
I love that song.
yeah, he's talking about going to the top. So let's bring it forward and talk about how you're getting to your top and where you are now after everything that you have laid the path for. So what's happening with you now? Where's your conscious level and everything? What's going on?
I would definitely say my conscious level right now is definitely in a state of gratitude. You know, I've just been so thankful for where my life is going, the people that I have in my corner that have been so supportive, you know, and just keeping that vision strong as to why I came out here in the first place, you know, and it wasn't to come out here and party, it wasn't to try to, you know, do, let's just say like crazy lifestyle stuff. That was not the goal. The goal is to, you know, continue pushing what I had already set myself out to do when I was in Texas, and acknowledging that I hit a ceiling when I was there, and saying, well, what do I need to do now? And that decision was coming here to Los Angeles to continue putting in work. And the ultimate thing was just to like lock arms with people that, like I mentioned earlier, that have the same drive, the same work ethic, the same vision and passion for, you know, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so,
What was the opportunity that took you from Texas and got you?
it's kind of funny. There was no opportunity. I had no job lined up. I didn't know anyone except one family member out here. And I said, I have this much in my pocket right now. I'm gonna make it work. I was really determined, and I did it. You know, I drove halfway across the country with my mama, which is a
Nice.
really, it's so funny because I love my mom to death, but I remember my cousin when she met up with my mother and I when we got into LA. The first thing that she said was, "Hey, like, how was the drive?" And my first comment was, "You know, you learn a lot about a person when you're driving halfway across the
Right.
country, you know." And like, oh man, but I love my mom to death. She's such an angel. Excuse me. But yeah, there was nothing lined up. I think I was confident in the knowledge that I already had,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew that there was so much more that I still needed to learn,
Mm-hmm.
and I was willing to take that risk. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of the things that I've accomplished in my life, they didn't come without me taking a big amount of risk.
You have to take risks. You have to, no risk, no reward. That's what people, you have
Yeah.
to just let that fear go. Get it off your shoulder and just
Yeah.
at least take a little step. I always tell people don't always, everybody has their path and way of doing it.
Yep.
But sometimes just take the baby step. Take the first step. Then the next one. Like if you try to like run, like kids you don't start off running, you crawl and you walk. You know, if you can go right to walking and running, God love you. But if you can't, don't beat yourself up.
Yep.
Because you have to take a step first.
Yeah, and that was something that I would always do. I would kind of like beat myself up on, you know, when I didn't get a certain project or when I didn't get paid for something, and it's like, hey, that wasn't the door for you. You know what I mean? And I can't tell you. There's a time, just like recently, where I can't disclose who the person was, but I really want to, but I can't. But for whatever reason, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because the minute I got a message that like, hey, for whatever reason the event has been called off,
Mm-hmm.
I got an hour later a message from another guy that I work with, and he's like, hey, what are you doing Wednesday? And I was like, we're working together Wednesday. So you know what I mean? Like when one door
Yeah.
closes, I
Another one
promise
opens.
you, yeah. But
it,
I mean,
it always means it's that way.
yeah, but
You
the
know?
thing is, these doors won't open unless you're willing to, you know, acknowledge that maybe you don't know it all,
Yep.
but that, you know, you're open to these ideas of learning these things, and you have to put in the time. I mean, I didn't go to school for film.
Mhm.
Nobody taught me. I mean, I had friends that showed me the basics, like what a shutter speed and f-stop and your ISO, you know what I mean? But as far as that goes, I mean, I would stay up hours on hours and hours learning how to edit, you know,
Yeah.
watching tutorials. And today people ask me like, oh, what film school did you go to? And I was like, my room. Like that's.
So it's like we were off
Yeah,
air.
me too.
I was telling you off air, like my old roommate, my friend Joe Hubbard, same thing. I mean, he sat there and taught himself everything for
Yeah.
hours and hours and hours. Tracked down the editors that he admired, tracked those people down, got meetings with them, ended up going to a big editing house as like at the first I think an intern and then like a lower level. All of a sudden within a few months he had jumped up to the top and people did not like that.
Yep.
And then he just started winning awards. And
Jeez,
then he
that's so amazing.
he was like did most of the Michael Bay trailers and all this kind of stuff. Like Joe just he's an example I use to everyone all the time. He's
Yeah.
called it and done stuff on
That's
the show
amazing.
because he's just like even for me when I feel afraid that I can't do it, I just think of Joe.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, all right, Joe, let's go.
That's why this is tatted on my arm, you know.
Yeah.
My aunt, I mean, the crazy thing about, you know, her situation, what she was going through, she would never show that she was in so much pain.
Mhm.
You could, if you were to look at her, she was always smiling.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's how I decided to live my life, that there's certain things that have happened, and people find out about it maybe a year later, and they're like, how were you that collective? Like, you know,
Mhm.
how did you have yourself so, you know, I guess gathered,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Despite that you were going through that, like, we never would have guessed. And I'm like, you know what? I mean, that's life, but you cannot sit around with this attitude, like, why me? You know, things happen, you know,
Yeah.
to you for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's there to teach you a lesson, and you grow, and I mean, ultimately, that's how you obtain certain things in life. You
So
gotta
what
grow.
are some of the what are some of your favorite types of things to work on? Videos, film?
Yeah.
What tell me about it.
So, my main thing for the longest time was like lifestyle travel. I really
okay.
like being at the beach was huge for me. The way I would envision, like that song that we just listened to before we hopped back on, first time I listened to that song, like I instantly thought, you know, when you're down right here in Santa Monica, there's so many trees lined up, and you know, the way the sun hits the mountains as you're looking like kind of towards the pier and all that stuff, like the vision just comes to life, right? And so those are the type of things that I really like to film. But the people that I'm starting to work with now, I've been so fortunate to have the opportunity to work with an actor. His name is Kevin Mills, a really, really cool guy. You know, we've been working on some stuff that are like psycho thriller and a few other shorts and things that he's working on. And so, you know, I'm starting to get into that, but the cool thing about that is I'm really bringing my creativity as far as, you know, when I actually DP'd some stuff with him, and I worked with him this last Sunday, and my ideas were just coming to life as to, you know, I need the color to look like this, I need the room lighting to be completely blacked out, I want these type of gels, and I need these shots. I mean, I'm the type of guy that I will shoot the exact same shot from 3 different angles, you know, and I feel like that's why, specifically, you know, the actor Kevin Mills and I, we gel so well together, is because him and I, we really come together, and you know, we understand each other's workflow, and we're so on point to what it is that how we want to execute, you know, how we want this shot to be, you know, portray everything. And you know, those are the type of stuff I'm filming now. But as far as like the things that I will always love to film, is just really crazy lifestyle adventures. I have a video where actually Gustavo Susait, the gentleman I talked about earlier, I jumped off the balcony, which was the 2nd story of his home, into his pool, and we recorded it. And so those are the type of stuff that you can call me an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, I was gonna call you something.
Call me what you want, but you know, I'm still here.
Well, unfortunately, we are running out of time, but
we've been on there for a good time now.
Where can everybody find you, and where can they find your work, and what's coming up?
So you can find some of my work on solanovision.com. If you want to find me on Instagram, it's _Sterling Solano. You know, those are the 2 main platforms. If you want to find me on Twitter, I think it's _Sterling Solano. We'll leave Snapchat out, you know. We don't have to touch Snapchat.
It ain't that type of show.
No, you won't find my work on Snapchat.
Okay.
You'll see the behind the scenes of how I am when I'm off camera.
All right, ladies, I guess you heard that one. Okay now. So hopefully I'll get to see more of your work and be on set, and hopefully we can get some stuff together. I'd love for you to meet Jake, you know, and all that. And obviously we ended up at Tracy's party, so
that was so interesting how that night played out. I mean, you never. That's the thing with LA. You just
never know.
You never know.
Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed Hugo Sterling Solano, director of photography and lifestyle adrenaline junkie, and also my wonderful, I'm gonna give him all kinds of titles, co-producer, I guess he executive, that's the executive stage right here.
Pump the brakes one time.
Yeah, boom. I'll give you co, but not exec. Now pulling right. But one day he will probably be my boss.
Absolutely.
Probably be my boss. As long as he brings me some.
He looked up and looked down and gave you the thumbs up.
He sure did. He's like, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what you got to put yourself around, right? You know, and no, I couldn't do it without Bahani. Every week he comes in here, he films for me, folks. He downloads everything, he edits everything, and all that stuff. It's a lot.
Really a lot,
and people don't understand. It's a lot putting the show together. Period. Yeah. People have no clue what it takes to get here to this mic. You know, we were just talking about it all there. Like we're emailing each other the wee hours of the morning to early, at night to early in the morning, because there's so many logistics that goes together to put this together and to do it right.
Of
you
course.
know, and this young man, he's got his own life, and he's here about to celebrate his birthday on Friday.
Hey.
Happy birthday to you. So there you go. And
I was trying to hit that too. Right?
yeah, I'm still. Look, I got to keep it going because I need some ice cream. No, but seriously. So all of you both have just wonderful, bright futures. Go ahead, Vahan. Say the name, because you know I'm going to get it before the end of the semester.
Come to the mic.
Vahan. Oh, he's coming. He's going to give us the 2 fingers.
Well, CCM.
There you go.
And you
Well,
lived in where for 11 years?
Yeah.
Armenia.
Lived in Armenia, and we were talking off the air. He's like, yeah, when I grew up, we just played together and everything.
Let
He
the
said,
people hear that.
yeah, you know, so we were talking about it. So that'll be something we'll continue. But folks, thank you for being with us, and I'm G-Tap, and it's been wonderful having you on another episode of Just Keep It Moving Powerfully. And you know, I like to end it with the saying about the great Hal Jackson. And you probably always wonder, who is the great Hal Jackson? So just go listen to my past episode with his daughter, my great aunt, Jane Jackson Harley, and you will see who Hal Jackson was. And you will see that if it wasn't for Hal Jackson, I wouldn't be behind this mic, as well as a lot of other people. So I'm going to leave it at that. And you go into my SoundCloud page, and that'll probably be under Greg Tapscott. It's a guy with a purple shirt, sideways. And you'll see the interview in there with his daughter, my great aunt, Jane Jackson Harley, and the great Hal Jackson. I will tell you this much, he was the first black DJ, radio DJ in this country, and the first black man to own a radio station in this company. He also owned the Apollo Theater.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's a lot of history there. It's always in the show the way that he used to say, it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice.
Absolutely.
So when you're walking down the street, just say hi, even if you don't feel like it. Just muster up that energy to share that light. And don't worry about how anybody else reacts to it. You've done your part. You may be surprised. They'll go, oh, hey. They might go, oh, hi, back. Especially here in LA, because everybody wants to walk with their head down, act like they're on their phone or whatever. But it's so important that we keep sharing our light.
Absolutely.
Especially when we are people filled with gratitude, because that gratitude should come out by passing that on to someone else.
Yeah.
So I always say that. Just share light. Be kind. Even when you don't feel like it, you know, we all go through it. I yell in my car at the person, like, why you at the stoplight? And then you go, okay, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. Because none of us are perfect,
Yeah.
you know, but we strive to be the best that we can be.
Absolutely.
And just share that light with everyone. And you can find me on Instagram at GTAP LLC, GTAP LLC. And, you know, make a little comment on the show. Tell us how you like it if you want Stuart to come back. Why did see? I knew I was going to call you wrong.
It was going to happen.
We said that from the because you know we said we were trying to brain at the very end. So rewind. So Sterling, you will and see if you want him to come back and just tell us how you like the episode, and just follow me. There's so many other episodes coming up, and I love to help promote people who are promoting other people. And I'll catch you next week. We're going to, let's see, I got one more song for you. I think you like it. We'll see. But thanks for listening, folks, and I'll see you next week. And I'm G-Tap, and you're listening to Just Keep It Moving Powerfully. Have a wonderful evening.
I did send this song in. Oh my gosh. This song would get me
Taking out a little
so...
power.
When I would do crazy stuff, like jump off, like this was the type of music that would get me like...